I tell you the truth, just keep breathing. You know, within a certain period of time, your recognition will come. So that is the ownership mindset. The ownership mindset comes with a lot of sacrifice. It's not an easy place to be. It's not an easy place to be. It is a place where you are most times going to do beyond your job description. So the third point here, meaningful mission. You know, it talks about being part of something that matters. Fuel your work with purpose, fueling your work with purpose. So what I wrote here is resonating with the company's purpose to drive excellence. Very important. So next slide. All right, the 5 ways. All right, the 5 ways of problem solving. In what I've said before now, also, includes in the 5 ways, identifying the problem. All right, the surface level problem, the why. Okay, start with the problem and, to see what the root cause is, then the why. You have like 3 steps in the 5 ways, and the other two, it leads you to the problem solving itself. So the state the issue specifically and objectively, define facts and opinions. Very important. So stating the issue specifically, okay, what is the issue right now? The issue is that we've been able to talk with relevant stakeholders, but they are saying that the amount we've quoted is too much. That is a defining issue. Okay, if the amount we've quoted is too much, okay, we quoted, let's say, for example, a practical figure of, let's say, 5 million naira, and they say no, they want it at the rate of 2.5. But the company's policy says we can't do at 2.5, but we can do at 3 million naira. So we go back to the drawing table and tell them and give reasons why they should take it at 3 million naira. So this is stating, I'm just giving an example, stating specifically and objectively what the facts are and bringing up opinions to solve it. The next point here, ask why. 5 times to drill down, past symptoms, to the fundamental cause. So drilling down to past symptoms to fundamental cause. Past. If we've done business with this company, are there issues in the past that has, made them not to buy from us? Is it still the same money thing or something else? When you draw up symptoms of a particular issue, you can always come up, to solving it. Like they say in mathematical equation, once you know the first and the second, equation in a matter, you can always solve the third one. You can always get the third one. All right. So the next point here, develop and execute actions that address the core issue to prevent reoccurrence. Very important, because most times mistakes do happen. There are times that when you are being given a task, you want to avoid such reoccurrence. For example, in my last job as a service manager, I went to a particular client's house, and I was supposed to carry. There's some certain things I'm supposed to carry, my laptop and all of that. I'm a service manager with, a particular company, and what we do is to take care of the client's documentation after he has onboarded. We provide second citizenship passports, for example, and then I have to go and bring in these documents. So going to get to this client's house, I already thought that, of course, as an HNI, you expect the client to have some necessary things, power supply, an adapter to plug your laptop, to scan his passports and other documents, and all of that. And when I went there, I discovered that he didn't have an adapter. Of course, there was light, but the charger of my laptop had a different size, and I couldn't find where to plug it. So I had to go out of the box and quickly buy an adapter, but I had an adapter in my office. I forgot to pick it up. All right, so this is an issue that occurred. So the next time when we had another client I had to go and meet, I had to pick up my adapter and pick up other things that were not needed because I was trying to prevent reoccurrence. So it's very important. Always, when you check on symptoms, always find a way to prevent reoccurrence in matters and issues. All right, so the pro tip here is don't stop at the first answer. The goal is to find the systematic failure and not just the person to blame. Very important, because in organizations, most times we throw the blame game. Oh, you did it. Oh, it's because he did this. Oh, it's because he didn't approve this. Or because the management didn't do this. It's always easy to throw the blame game. But most times what I tell people is always look inward. There's something you can do, to change the narrative. There's something you can do. So don't just throw the blame game. It's easy to point fingers, but it's harder to look inward and find what you can do to change the narrative. Thank you. Next slide, very quick. The time is almost. All right. So empowering through decision making. Empowering through effective decision making. The first thing, anatomy, having or giving the confidence to make bold, informed decisions independently within your scope of work. So having and making decisions independently is also very key, all right, to being a problem solver. Okay, so you've been given a task to travel to a state and make a particular finding. You do not just go there, make a finding, make calls and say, oh, sir, I've done this. But you're going deeper. There are some things that he didn't tell you to do, but you go out of your way, as somebody who has an ownership mentality to go and, bring in the results. Number 2 point here, trust. Building credibility with leadership through consistency, high quality outcomes, and reliable judgment. Building credibility. These are the key words. Credibility, consistency, all right? High quality outcomes, reliable judgment. Very important. But the important words here for me is basically credibility and consistency. Once there's credibility and consistency, I tell you the truth, the sky is the limit. You will not just become a good decision maker. You will not just have the ownership mindset, but you're going to do a lot. You're going to do a lot for that organization. Just even having credibility and consistency helps a lot. So the next point, innovation, feeling safe and share creative ideas and experiment with new approaches and that drive organizational value. All right. So feeling safe to share, not saying, oh, why should I share? The other time I shared, they just bluffed my idea. They bluffed my plan. They bluffed my initiative. Oh, I'm not even the team leader of this group. Why should I share my idea? The other time it was not good. So I'm trying to, keep my peace. I got my fingers burnt. If you got your fingers burnt, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try again. You should try again. Always give yourself the opportunity to try again. If you fail before, try again. The truth is that many times when you try the second time, the third time, you discover that you succeed. Like I said earlier, failure is a process to success. All right? If you brought an initiative or plan to your boss and say, sir, don't do it like this, do it this way. This is the best way for us to try. And your boss ignores your idea, your initiative, and did his own. And then when he went, he failed. And you in your mind, you're telling.
Please, we can't hear you.
You never can tell. He can, he will still go with, he may still go with your way. All right. So next slide, very quickly, as we approach the end. Yeah. So communication, the bridge to ownership, communication. The bridge to ownership is communication. Communicate is key in any organization. You can't bottle up things. Transparency, sharing strategic information that empowers team members to make informed owner-like decisions. All right. So your strategy in a team, you're communicating your strategy, you communicating your mind, your initiative, your idea is important. All right. And being transparent. The second point, feedback loops, creating a culture where seeking and giving constructive feedback is standard for continuous growth. Feedback is very good. Feedback is good. Feedback is good because constructive feedback and criticism feedback is also good, because if they tell you, oh, you didn't do this properly, you should have done it this way, learn from it. But most times, sometimes you allow ego to come on the way and you're not able to learn. It's important for you to embrace constructive feedback. Very important. It is one of the ladders to growth, one of the ladders to success, one of the ladders to having an ownership mindset. Number 3, clarity, ensuring absolute alignment on expectations, roles, and the ultimate definition of success. Okay, so clarity is important. When you have clear goals, you know what you can, what you're set out to do. When the goal is clear, you know how to shoot. You do not shoot, sporadically and losing your arrows, because a good archer or a good hunter shoots at the prey, gets the prey, and gets the arrow back. All right. So that is where it talks about, being, you're utilizing what you've been given. All right. So clarity and objectives in any organization is very important. Let's quickly go to next slide. All right. Overcoming barriers to ownership. First of all, we have barriers to ownership. There are things that could stand as challenges to having the ownership mentality. That the first thing is the fear of failure, the hesitation to take initiative due to potential mistakes. Oh, what if I take this step and it's wrong? I don't want to be, kicked again. I don't want to be ostracized or set aside because I didn't give the right idea, or I don't want to be talked down on. Most times we have different kind of bosses in different organizations. There could be some, to truth be told, there could be some that are a bit toxic, and all of that. But that doesn't stop you, from bringing your initiative and your idea. Bring it anyway. Bring it anyway. All right. So your fear of failure shouldn't stop you from taking those steps. Make those mistakes, learn from them, and move on. Lack of resources. Point number 2. Feeling restricted by limited time or tools. I have told you about I had lack of tools when I started sometime. So you could have lack of tools, lack of resources, but that doesn't stop you. The main thing is you're having the goal in your heart, and taking the right steps, making the right decisions towards your goal. Your resources shouldn't stop you. Along the line, you discover the resources you need will come to you. Number 3 point, ambiguity. Unclear goals lead to passive waiting, because these are some of the barriers of having the ownership mindset. Unclear goals, when you don't have something clear cut, how to go about it, the steps to take can lead to barriers of ownership. Next slide. All right, action plan, developing your mindset. We begin to round off now. I know my time is fast spent. So action plan, the first thing, set high standards, very important. Like they say, when you set the standard to reach the sun, you land on the moon. You've at least gotten up to 95% of your goal. Set high standard, hold yourself to objective criteria for success. Move beyond good enough to impact-driven excellence. Move yourself from good enough to impact-driven excellence. The next point, seek mentorship. Learn from leaders who embody their own philosophy. Own it philosophy. Observe how to handle challenges. Own it philosophy. Very important. Own it philosophy. So you read books, you go to seminars, you listen to podcasts and programs on YouTube, social media spaces, and learn more. Third point, measure progress. Regularly mentor your growth. The transition from tracking hours from tracking hours to tracking problem solve. Tracking hours, not just tracking hours and counting time. Oh, okay, 9 to 5. Oh, I'm at 4 p.m. I'm almost time to close. Don't just check time. And your time, time is something that can never come back. Time is what life gives to you to spend. All right, and never come. So in the process of your time, you don't just track time, but you track problems. So things you're supposed to do. What are the things you're supposed to do when you're closing for the day? What is this thing? What is the criteria, or what is the lineup schedule for the next day? You're already putting it down. Oh, I'm supposed to see this client. I'm supposed to make this phone call. You write down your schedule, and as you go home, you start planning for the following day. That's how to become a proactive and have the ownership mindset. Next slide, real quick. All right. So the impact of ownership, owning your impact, the impacts of ownership for you, increased engagement. So when you own your impact, you have increased engagement, you have faster career growth, you have greater professional fulfillment and greater professional opportunities as well. All right. So these are the things you gain for having the ownership mindset. Then for the team, higher collaboration, stronger results, collective resilience during challenges. Very important. Collective resilience. That is what teamwork does. When there is strong teamwork, you have strong collective resilience during challenges and in challenges. The third point for the organization, the culture of innovation that thrives on agility, purpose, and strategic excellence. So this is it for the organization. So in a broader spectrum, the organization grows, the organization begins to thrive effectively. Next slide. All right, so we've come to the end of this presentation. Now, the question is, what is your move? Own your impact. The choice you make. Every task is an opportunity to solve a problem. Every task is an opportunity to do what? To solve a problem, add value. That's the choice you make. Your mindset, transitioning from doing to owning, starts with your next decision. Transitioning from doing to owning starts with your. So when you leave this, this meeting, what is your next step? What is the next thing? It starts with your next decision. Then the result, becoming a leader, what following, regardless of your title or role. Very important. Becoming a leader, what following, regardless of your title or role. So your title or role shouldn't get into your head. You should be what you are supposed to be before they even give you that title. All right? People should already be seeing it in you. It's not just answering, oh, I'm a leader of this, or manager of this. They should already be seeing those characteristics in you. And it starts by you, making the decision from being a doer to being an owner. So I hope with these few points of mine, and I've been able to convince you that being an owner, having the ownership mentality and being a doer, having the ownership mentality is better than being a tax doer. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention. God bless you. And I look forward to your questions. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Onyinye.
I have a call on another phone. I'll call you back.
Thank you. You can put up the next slide for question and answer. There's a next slide for question and answers. Yes.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Lionel. Thank you for that very explicit conversation. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that presentation, from tax doer to problem solver, building an ownership mindset. You really explained it well. Thank you for your time. Please, the two speakers should still stay behind for question and answer, because some people have questions. I want to look through the chat, but please put down your question and answer on your question, on the two topics. Either funding for small businesses or taking ownership. Professor Hassan, please, are you still there? I have a question.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I've been seeing on the news where the federal government said, I think they've purposely stopped giving businesses loan. I don't know if I'm right. They've stopped helping businesses with loan of so. Is that right? So how do small businesses now cope if CBN has told all the banks to stop giving corporate organizations loan to assist their clients?
Please let me, I can't hear clearly.
I've been seeing in the news where the CBN said the banks should stop giving loans to corporate organizations for any form of help or assistance. Is that in line, or that's something else? That's a question. Yes. I also saw it yesterday again.
And that the small, please repeat the question again.
The banks should stop giving out loans to businesses.
All right. Can you is the problem we're having is that some of the banks are going through what you can call the re-engineering processes. And it may come, that will come up, it will, most of the banks, because of the liquidity, that the banks are now being encouraged to, the banks are now trying to increase their capital base. So, and in order not to hide under the fact that businesses are the, loans, in order to track the loans that are truly, categorized as repayable, as not repayable. This policy has to be in place till the conclusion of that arrangement. I think it's just a temporary measure to actually ensure that the increased capital base that have been requested of banks are finalized. It's not even despite that, any bank, any business that still meets all those conditions are still being granted, loans that are repaid. And those that are on it are still being serviced. So that's just it. I think you can hear my answer.
Yes, you said it's temporary.
Mm.
Yes. Because I was skeptical about that policy. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let me check the chat box to see if there are other questions. I think there is a question for the soft skills person. The slides will be shared to participants. Okay, there's a question from Rhoda Joseph to Mr. Ogwike. If a business has weak numbers like low profits or customers, that's to the speaker one. If a business has weak numbers like low profits or customers who keep leaving, will more money actually fix the real problem or just postpone the crash? When does funding hide the fact that the business model itself is weak? Did you get the question, Professor?
Yeah, I've got the question. It's not, in my presentation I've said is I've tried to address that. It's not the funding, once you gain from profitability, you don't lose it by wrong source of funds. So what we mean is that there is not funding that the lenders are not looking for, that it's not funding alone. Utilization of the fund itself. The necessity for the fund is also very important. It is not funding that solves all problems. It may be problems that are solved by governance, what you can call the market share of the business, the sustainability, and whatever it is cannot be addressed by just pumping in more money. The most important thing, are the funds necessary? Are there business opportunities that are profitable that requires that it be funded? That is a necessary condition. Not that when you have more fund, it solves all problems. No, it is not. Fund is required only when there are sustainable business ventures, opportunities that require, investment of capital. That is when fund is required. I think that's partially answered that question.
Yes, funding is just a subsector of success. There are other things that make up success in an organization. There's a question for the soft skills speaker. Where is the line between taking ownership and overstepping your role or authority?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Sure, I can hear you.
Yes. So I think I also said a bit of that in my presentation. Where is can you say this question again, please, once again?
The line between taking ownership and stepping boundaries.
Yeah, so stepping boundaries, you are, good question, actually. So in an organization, you've been given your role, okay? And there's a certain, aspect of what you're supposed to deliver. When you play your parts within your role, you are not, stepping over your boundary. You're actually within your boundary. Like I said, having the ownership mindset is basically owning not just your tax alone, but thinking out of the box. Okay, so if your boss gives you a particular assignment or task to do, you have to think around it. Don't just go back to the boss saying, okay, I met with this bottleneck or challenge, I couldn't fulfill or complete the task. You should be able to find a way to complete the task and go a bit beyond what he has given you to do. When you do that, you're not stepping your boundaries, all right? But if in a situation, maybe in an organization, there are particular policies or laid down rules, there's something called code of conduct in an organization that has been given to you on how to behave, then you can actually work with that, okay? But even at that, all I'm just trying to say is that as much as possible, own whatever task has been given to you and don't just stop there. Give a defining and an excellent, result at the end of the day, because these bosses, they also see what you do, okay? And then when you are able to, produce an excellent result, they understand where to place you. And there are also exceptions to the rule. Don't forget, you're not all the time, they say, oh, you're stepping boundaries. There are some certain situations that, involve you, taking a step further beyond what the jurisdiction that has been given to you. And when you do that, obviously they'll look at it and, applaud you for it. So you are not stepping over boundaries when you do the right thing, as long as it's within the goals and objectives of that organization. I hope that helps.
Yes, what you responded to helps. Thank you very much. There is yet another question. Let's treat speaker 2. What if the boss is not sharing other issues affecting the business, but chooses to chase them alone? Why only allowing you to focus on your job? Maybe there are other issues in your workplace, but he just gives you the job to do while he chests other information.
That's fine. It's fine. If your boss says no, don't get involved in this. Just do your job. I'll take care of the rest. Fine. Just stick to your job. Just stick to your job. Just stick to whatever work you're doing. But do your work excellently. Let the boss know that if there are more opportunities given to you, you can prove yourself better and more. All right. Always leave that room for improvement. Like they said in an adage, that the largest room in the world is the room of improvement. There's always room for improvement. So always give your boss that notion that, oh, if you're given more tasks or there's something more that is bothering the department or the organization where you want me to step in, I want to let you know I can step in, I can do it, I can. So with your actions, your body language, your energy, and how you deliver your results, your boss will actually, in the long run, you discover that he will begin to entreat more responsibilities to you. And even with time, he may even draw you closer and work closely with you because you're already a person who is bringing in the results. So that's just the truth. So I hope that helps. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that response.
Yeah. Welcome.
This is for the first speaker, Professor Hassan. An aspiring founder has a validated business idea, but no savings and poor credit. Which initial funding approach is most realistic for getting the first version of the product into the market? Prof, did you get that?
Yeah. I think I can hear that. Well, the most important thing is that when you're talking about funding, the first approach is to actually utilize the internal sources. The internal sources is your first line of approach. It is only when the internal sources are not adequate enough to start the business off, it is then we resort to external sources. So your first line of approach should be the internal sources. If you yourself as an entrepreneur is convinced about the sustainability of the business. So I think I can answer that question. I think that answers the question.
Okay, the question is, it doesn't have savings and it now has poor credit, like maybe it's owing a lot of banks and you cannot take further loan or something. So what's the way out?
You cannot go for further loans.
And it doesn't have savings. And he wants to take the product out.
I know we also make use of the fact that there are government interventions. There are government intervention programs. If there are, and these government intervention programs are real. In fact, even at local level, there are what we call community empowerment programs that are tied to businesses, not the type that some of our politicians do. If you are a serious entrepreneur, you don't key into that type of empowerment, and you key into empowerment that will assist your business. There are a lot of government intervention funds that the businessman can key into, provided you follow the laid down requirement and you are so sure that the business itself is sustainable. So that is the most. You need to convince the people that actually want to provide the funds that the business has another and is sustainable, and it will continue the business will continue for life, not a business that will be for a particular product and it's useful for the society. So you can't continue to take loans and loans and loans. So it's not an unlimited source of funds.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think that.
Okay, an additional comment there will be, since you don't have option to borrow and you can actually do crowdfunding. I think you mentioned it. You can just pick 30 people on your contacts, your friends and families, contribute money for you. Even though it's 10,000,
yes,
so you're starting a business.
Yes, you pull.
Please, you need to unmute yourself, Dr. Yvonne.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. I said one of the things to our advice is to do crowdfunding. You can pick 30 people from your contacts, 20 people, say you want to start a business, show them the proposition. Even though it's 10,000 across 50 people, you've been able to raise money. Then secondly, you can do market visibility. How visible is that product you're about to push out there? What's your go-to market strategy? Don't just push it out there. Make sure you do that visibility study before you start any business, because a lot of businesses seem profitable. But when you start it, you see that there are no profits within. That will also help for such situations. I don't see any additional question. Does anybody have any questions so that we could round up? To speak, in case you don't want to
I have a contribution to make.
Okay, thank you.
Now, from our little site, we have a sister company called Dongo, that have been supporting ICANN members with little funds to fund their equipment, purchase of laptops and things like that. So when you need to start off your consultancy and you just need equipments like laptop, generators, air condition, and the likes, you can reach out to Dongo, and I'm sure you will get the funds to support whatever you have. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful response for assistance to small businesses. Does anybody have any other question for our prof and our soft skill experts? If you have any other question, you can put on the chat box quickly so that we could take it. The ownership mindset means I can just give you a line of what I want to establish and tell you to run with it. And you don't need to ask your boss 120 questions before you get work done. because bosses are actually busy. So taking ownership mindset is very important in any task or anything you are doing, both office, both religious center, anywhere you find yourself with a responsibility, you have to take ownership of it. And please, Mr. Oti, please take charge of to appreciate our facilitators and to also talk about OTS here. Mr. Oti, please, over to you.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you so much. I hope you can hear me though.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Yvonne, for anchoring the event, and I'd like to thank the facilitators, Dr. Hassan Fashino and Lino Mayor Ogwike. You guys did a very good job, and it shows that you are on top of your game in this space. We also want to thank all the participants who have made out time from their very busy schedule to attend the event. Let me just take a moment to tell you a little about One Team Social Club. Now, One Team Social Club is a club made up of ICANN members, qualified members of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, not student members. So here we collaborate, we rub minds, share knowledge, and we support each other. So if you feel like joining the One Team Social Club, you see the link in the chat box there. You can just click the link to join. The club is going to be assisting every member of ICANN, so long as you have ACA or FCA. So this event, for instance, is highly subsidized and brought to you by them. And I'm sure you know at the end of the day, you'll be having a five credit point, MCPD credit points. According to, I told you a few minutes back that One Team Social Club also has a sister body, also managed by members of ICANN. Now it's known as a Dongo. So you might have been seeing the advert here and there. Dongo is supposed to support everyone as far as cash flow needs are required to meet minor things. But aside from that, most importantly, you can also be a co-owner of the Dongle initiative, so long as you have ACA or FCA, just like you can join One Team Social Club. So we look forward to seeing you, and note that we are trying to emulate our founding fathers, the likes of Akintola, Williams, and co. They got the certification early enough. They did not stop there. They came to Nigeria and established Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. We are now in turn trying to make life less stressful for ourselves, just the way they've done for us initially. So now you don't need to travel abroad to write foreign professional qualifications. You can just simply use your Naira, buy the account form, and enroll. That is how they did it for us. So we should also look for ways to make life less stressful for our members and for other Nigerians. That is what we are trying to do here in One Team Social Club and Dongo Nigeria. So feel free to collaborate with the team. If you know you have some unique skills that you want to share with professional colleagues, of course, you can reach out to Dr. Yvonne Afolabi. She'll be able to refine it properly and make it acceptable to the house. Thank you so much, and God bless also.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Oti. Let us not waste much of our time. We'll be rounding up. Please do well to join OTSCN platform where we drop information, and our next webinar that I'll be holding also be put out there. So we'll be rounding up with ICANN anthem and the Nigerian anthem. Thank you very much for joining. We appreciate your time.
failure.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain.
I saw it on.
Oh God of hope,
Directional.
grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and the soul with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Okay.
Nigeria.
Sorry for that background noise. Thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you in June, and happy holidays. Thanks.